Do you know this sensation when you start to connect your body and mind? Time starts to slow down and everything begins to feel kinda effortless. The outside noise begins to fade away and all that matters is your dedication to the moment. Your focus increases and things become more fluid. You start to feel energized, give your fullest attention to whatever you are engaged with. That place in your mind is what people call flow state. Today I want to share everything that I've learned with you about flow state. Find it an extremely fascinating concept and I wanted to experiment with myself to see if I can get into that zone and find my own flow state and boost my creativity and focus in everyday tasks. I chose freediving as a sport to challenge myself on how to achieve this state of mind. Someone has told me that if I can focus enough, I should be able to dive like 20 meters deep and hold my breath for like 2.5 minutes after only 1 week. Sounds really crazy. I'm not experienced in this sport and I wouldn't call myself particularly athletic, but from what I read, I'm confident that I can train my mind to achieve this on a smaller scale, on a day-by-day basis. But I want to apply the principles to achieve greater focus in my work to be more productive. And over the course of this video, I'll share all of these things that I've learned with you guys. So as I said, freediving involves a lot of concentration and giving the fullest focus to the moment to be able to achieve longer periods underwater. So the foundation is about having a clean mind and not being distracted. In order to start with a clean mind and to be able to remain calm and slow down my heart rate, I started my days with a simple 10-minute meditation. I can't say I'm particularly experienced in meditation, so I just simply used a trial on an app called Headspace, who are not a sponsor or anything. I just found their app incredibly helpful as a trainer would kind of talk me through the meditation process, but I believe there are other alternatives there like very similar and probably equally good. I feel it isn't an easy exercise as a beginner, but once you've tried it for a couple of times, then you realize that your mind's usual chatter begins to fade away and you can enter a more non-distracted zone. The meditation definitely helped my mind to stay more present and kind of at ease with itself, so I could be calmer and clearer for the rest of the day and the diving exercise. The next thing I want to talk about is setting small goals. If you want to be more focused, it is essential to plan and achieve goals. So for the next days, I would use my notes on my phone to make a checklist, kind of sketch out my day. And on very busy days, I also like to put activity in my calendar so I wouldn't lose focus as easily. I read that it takes about 20 to 30 minutes until you can reach flow state and 1.5 to 2 hours until your focus starts to decline, so make sure you include sufficient breaks to be able to work efficiently. Just done with the morning routine, so we're heading to the dive training next. On the first session in the open water, we took the boat out. With the guidance of the instructor, I managed to successfully dive 10 meters deep. It is the end of another amazing day on the water, and I'm so surprised of what the human body can do once you allow your mind to process and just kind of let go. It's been absolutely incredible. And next I'm going to share more tips and tricks with you guys on what I learned about getting into flow state. Now, another super distracting thing that will pull you out of any flow state is starting your day on messages and emails on your phone. Doesn't have any benefits, and in the worst case, it can give you a lot of anxiety and you start your day with a lot of stress and trigger a lot of distraction that will then carry on throughout the entire day, and it really sucks. So I started to keep my phone in flight mode until I was done with the meditation and sketching out my goals. Before, I used to lie in bed with my phone and then just like doom scroll without any purpose. I checked my screen times, and that made me realize that this behavior stole almost an entire hour of sleep each day. I also recommend to do a couple of like reading breaks in between. During the day you can like plot out like 10 minutes or so, and that kind of helps you to reset your mind and kind of detach from all the negative things and all the stress. I also realized that lots of natural light really helps me to stay in a much better mood, so I started to block out a time slot on each day where I just go out and walk and enjoy the sun. That stole only about 30 minutes from my day, but I felt it made a massive difference for me to stay a lot more focused when I needed to be focused. Really simple. I am on my way to do some static breath hold exercises, and that is actually the discipline I struggled with the most, because it just really feels difficult to me to hold my breath when I'm not moving and my mind keeps on rotating and so on, and I really struggle to go above 2 minutes so far. So I'm meeting with my friend here and hopefully I'll be able to go further than 2 minutes. It is 7 a.m. We are completely alone in this bay right here, and we're taking some time to snorkel. And apparently you can see some really young black tip sharks over here, so we're gonna snorkel around and see if we can find them. I'm back at the hotel. Unfortunately, I had so much pain on my left ear. I'll try to continue the course tomorrow and hopefully that pain will ease. So I'll just hang out by the beach and explore the island a little bit. Look at this amazing place. Hello, you need help? You need help? I wanted to give a shout out to my friends over at Artlist, who were the ones who made this trip possible. In case you don't know, Artlist is a music licensing company that provides anyone who makes videos for social media with amazing music that you can use license free. It is important to have a license for the music you use these days, because otherwise you'll get into trouble and platforms like YouTube might penalize you. If you are like me and like to create videos for social media, then I think Artlist could be super interesting for you. The way it works, you get a monthly subscription to their platform, and that allows you unlimited access to their music. So for example, the music I used in this video, I found by logging into Artlist and then searching for terms like cinematic travel to find tracks that match the look and feel of my videos. They got a bunch of curated playlists for a number of different genres, so I'm confident that you'll be able to find something that works best for your videos. Now the pricing is $9.99 per month for the creator plan that allows you to use their music for YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or any other social media platform. Probably even MySpace if that's still around. Now, if you create videos commercially and so on, then their pro plan is the right one for you, which is about $17 per month, which is pretty affordable also. And they also had recently introduced a new product which is called Artlist Max, and that adds stock video and editing templates to your existing subscription. Costs only $39 per month, and for me it makes a pretty key difference as I can tap into a larger library of assets, level up the production quality of my videos. Once again, massive thanks to Artlist for hooking a brother up and the continued support on my channel. Small YouTubers are not known for making crazy income, so what would I do without awesome partners like Artlist who support the channel, believe in me? I also believe in their product, so if you are looking for awesome music, then feel free to check them out. If you use my link below, it's a win-win for everyone. You get a decent price plus 2 months for free. I get a kickback to help finance making this video. Artlist gets a happy new customer. Awesome. Thank you. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is multitasking, which I believe is a myth and can be extremely distracting and pull you out of flow state. Now, before I started to do photo and video full-time, I was working in the finance industry on a trading floor in London. And this kind of job was all about doing multiple tasks at the same time. And at the time, I believed that mastering how to multitask was like the most amazing thing because I could be so much more effective. However, now I really changed my opinion and I believe multitasking can be extremely inefficient, distract you, and eventually even pull you out of your flow state. Now, if you put too many tasks on yourself, then your mind will be saturated very quickly, and every single time you switch between a task, that will kind of confuse your brain and in a certain way like reset your productivity. That is why I recommend to plan your activity and allocate time slots, which I'll explain in the next tip. As I said before, I would start working on really random stuff and switch around different tasks all the time. But what I realized is a lot more efficient is plotting out specific time slots for different tasks. So for example, after I was done with meditation, doing a quick workout in the morning, I would allocate about 30 minutes to respond to emails, and afterwards I would allocate about 1 hour for the next crucial task. I read that it makes sense to bundle analytical tasks together, such as research, planning or reading, and the other category are creative tasks such as writing, shooting photo and video, or designing something. And I think that's super efficient and powerful. And I also feel that you can achieve a much heavier sense of concentration that way. I also recommend to set a timer when you do each activity, because that really helped me to get into the zone and not to get distracted too easily and then like start looking at my phone all the time. Now, the next ones seem very obvious, but in order to achieve flow state more constantly, I need to be able to operate at top mental capacity, and therefore I realized that it is extremely important to get enough rest, decent sleep, exercise regularly, and give your body decent enough nutrition. Good morning, guys. It is another super beautiful day and one of the last days here on the island taking the dive course. Luckily my ear feels a lot better this morning, and I also noticed that I could concentrate a lot better when I was doing the meditation and breathing exercises in the recent days. So I think I'm making progress here, but let's see how that goes. I'm gonna head to the dive school now and enjoy this really beautiful morning on this incredible beach right here. On the last dive, I finally pushed past the pain in my left ear and accomplished my goal of diving 20 meters deep, and it gave me a new appreciation for the potential of the human body and mind. Finally, I was able to overcome my biggest fear, and I managed to hold my breath for 2.5 minutes. Another thing that I started to implement into my routine is walking 10,000 steps each day. Okay, so the way to measure a basic level of sports is just using the steps function on the iPhone. I thought it's a pretty simple trick, but whenever I didn't reach my goal, then my phone would give me a hint. This boat is like super loud. I also felt that staying hydrated is extremely important. I read a statistic that not drinking enough water can lower your attention span by about 20%. So sometimes when I'm busy, I tend to forget to drink, so I started to set a timer on my phone to constantly remind myself to drink a glass of water. Now I realized that having a healthy mind also requires healthy eating habits. makes absolutely no sense to try practice on how to get into flow state, but then simultaneously treat your own body like a garbage can. So I started with a very simple trick. I just banned sodas and processed food from my diet, and after a few weeks, I realized that that made quite a big difference. I wasn't super strict on eating other stuff, but I just felt that processed food really robbed me of my attention and my power after all. Now, another tip that made me achieve flow state a lot better is focusing on the outcome and not overanalyzing the process on how to get there. So whenever I felt that I was drifting off, I would just analyze the goals that I set, and that made me come back to my initial vision. And lastly, keep in mind that all of these things take time to establish. I mainly filmed myself for a single week and practiced all of this, but I'm aware that I have to continue with those habits for at least another 2 or 3 weeks longer before everything would sink in and kind of become like autopilot mode. So trust the process and don't be too impatient if it doesn't work out right away. Okay, so this was a crazy week and I felt that I really learned some new things and pushed myself to the limit. So what are the key takeaways? First of all, I am extremely surprised of what you can achieve when you focus on a singular task and don't let distraction take a hold of you. Blanking out the outside world for a short period of time is a skill that I learned from doing all the diving exercises. But what I realized is that you definitely don't have to do any crazy sports to find flow state. I hope you found this valuable. If you did, feel free to share it with a friend who might benefit from this. And if you want to hang out here on the channel, you can subscribe. Don't have to, but if you want to, it would definitely make my day. With that said, have an awesome time. I'll see you guys later.